I've seen Boondocks.
Yeah.
Let me get away from the door. This is the
Away from
episode
the door, Finley.
200.
Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast, the talk show, the whiskey talk show, where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. This week, this specific week, I don't know how to say it except for this is our 200th episode, Robbie. And before I ask you, Robbie,
200.
Ooh, what's that from?
Conan O'Brien used to do the in the year 2000.
Oh yeah. I like Conan O'Brien. He's
In the
funny.
year 2000.
Yeah, this is our 200th episode.
200.
200.
Yeah, 200.
And we're drinking not like we are drinking a whiskey that is in its 200 or its second century, not 200th year. It's in its second century, just like. Not exactly. We don't do one episode a year. We do about one episode a week. So the 200th episode, we are drinking Monticello bottled in bond whiskey with a 15-year age statement on it that was distilled in 1902 and was bottled in 1917. So we're drinking a whiskey that is over 100 years old, bottled over 100 years ago, and it's a 15-year bottled in bond whiskey, like distilled literally right after, within 5 years of the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897. Wow, Steve's gonna come on and he's gonna be like, "Wow, how inaccurate."
There are so many inaccuracies in this.
So many inaccuracies. And speaking of inaccuracies, we're going to be meandering quite a bit on this fun episode. I've talked a lot about the intro and haven't talked about the business. Now's a great time to hit us up on patreon.com/chillfiltered. Like I said, we're still looking for more support so we can go beyond reinvesting all of our Patreon funds into the podcast and into our Patreon support. So we would love your help. If you've been listening for a while and you're like, man, I could spare $5 to $10 or more on patreon.com for these guys a month. That would help us out a ton. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Otherwise, hit us up on Instagram. If you haven't hit us up yet and just reached out and said, you know what, I love feeling like I'm in the room with you guys. That's what we love to hear. So if you've been feeling that way for a while and haven't reached out to us, do it this week. It's a good week to do so. And that's the business. Robbie, I've talked so much, but how are you doing?
I am okay. 200 episodes, Cole.
200.
You've been here for all of them.
Almost all of them. There was one or two that Adam did without me. Mm-hmm.
And then I did a couple without you as well when Beck was born. So I guess most of the 200 you've been.
Yeah, I'm going to count 200 though.
Yeah, it counts.
But you're over 100. You're like,
well, actually, Cole, you had
you
had the practice episode, so that fills in. So it's like you're at 200.
That's true. I probably made it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How am I doing? So you remember last week I was talking about Juniper getting the cold and Finley getting the cold and all that stuff. Well, I got the cold. And if we were to record last Sunday night, I had no voice. And my voice is still a little weird right now.
It's a little,
I'm surprised.
A little cracky.
It is. And I still got a lingering cough.
Nice.
So I took my Mucinex. I took some Advil cold and sinus. I'm sorry, folks. You're going to hear some mucus, I'm sure. I don't mean to. I don't want to. But I feel privileged that I want to share that with you.
That's privilege right there.
Not everybody gets to share. Not everyone gets someone else's mucus. And you're getting mine live, recorded over the audio. So, no, I got sick this week, and it's been kind of a weird week. Yeah, just it's kind of weird. It's one of those things where it's like you don't want to disturb your partner. So Chelsea and I kind of been taking turns sleeping in the guest room because I'll cough at night and stuff, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It hasn't been a great week. I feel a lot I have felt. I know even just around recording today. I've been very excited for episode 200, and I don't know, a lot of emotional anxiety over it, and I don't know why.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah.
Where it's like
I feel like it should. Is it kind of like New Year's Eve where you feel like New Year's Eve's got to be good?
I gotta kiss someone
Like
tonight. Yeah.
like but right, like you build up New Year's Eve where it's like New Year's Eve, woohoo,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
great. It's a great time of year, but it's another day
it's just
sometimes.
it's
Just
yeah, and
another
it's not always
episode.
easy to make it super duper special. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited though. Mara's at her first track meet right now, so when we get done recording, we're gonna run over there and
Yeah.
watch her
What
run
are
like
her
400.
events?
So she's doing I think the 200, the
Okay.
400, and then
The
something I
800.
can't remember.
She doing
I
a
don't know.
relay?
I don't know if I want to say 800, but I don't know if they go that high in middle school for
Never know these
for
days.
track. So anyway,
Mhm.
she is. It's been awesome. She's been like super. She's like everyone wants to do like all the short ones, but I want to do kind of the longer ones. I'm like that's awesome. So I was proud of her, and I'm excited. But the twins had daycare today, and Chelsea's got a work function where they're dedicating one of the heart failure areas to Dr. Chai, who I've mentioned on the podcast before, who passed away this year.
That's cool.
So it's like it is really cool. Yeah. So So she was like, well, Mara, I'll try to make it. I'm like, Chelsea, like there'll be other track meets.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one dedication of a unit kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
but the twins had daycare and Chelsea's gone, and I'm like, oh, they're cranky. So like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of like you heard the girls before I got
screaming.
on.
Yeah.
Oh man, I made so here's a parenting tip, at least that applies in my family. I asked the girls, "Are you hungry? Would you like me to get you something?" Bad move. I should have just made something and put it in front of them, because when you make it and put it in front of them, they just start eating and it's fine. But then like I got this weird request. I'm like, oh honey, we don't have that right now. We can make it. And I'm like, Finley, I don't know. And she's like, I need that. And, oh man, it just went downhill. And I was excited because I'm like, I got home early. I was ready to record. And she wanted Trader Joe's cheese and crackers, like the little cracker sandwiches. Then she went to a very detailed way we could make them, and I didn't pick it up. So
did you make it for her?
Well, kind of. I cut a bunch of I was like, we did the exact process I explained to her. And she was like, that's not good enough. And then we did that same process, and that was good enough. But my favorite part was she yelled at me, I don't want you to cut the cheese. I'm like,
who does, Finley?
Yeah.
Who does?
So anyway.
That's cool.
Sorry, cough number one.
No, count them. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of weird, and like weird weather here.
Oh, really?
Like we're
cold?
still not in the spring. It's still
wow.
This is the first day we've had like above 60 since 2 weeks. No more snow, which is nice.
It was 80 today here. It's crazy.
Man, that sounds nice. Did you get the AC all figured out?
Yes. The shout out to Peak Comfort AC in Chester, Virginia. If anyone lives out here, Mark,
they do the best air conditioners and have the greatest ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, exactly. So Mark, the ex-boyfriend, was nice enough to come over and fix it very quickly for free. And he said, no charge today. This is a really quick fix. Happy to do it. So
that's nice.
Dude pro. So we took care of it very quickly. And yeah, so that's the best news you can get when your AC isn't working.
Well, if we're plugging great AC companies, Arctic Heating and Air here out in the Treasure Valley,
Meridian,
we'll do the same. Like they'll come out and be like, you know what, it was just a quick thing. Don't worry about it. And they send us Starbucks gift cards randomly, being like, hey, it's our anniversary. We just want to say thank you to you guys. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. So Arctic Heating and Air.
Yeah. Seriously.
Sorry, I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be all over the place with those coughs. I am so sorry.
It's all good.
I apologize.
As long as you're not coughing right into the mic.
I'll do one in the mic just for the fans.
Just for the fans. Just for the Robbie fans. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh man. How you been? What's going on with you besides great air conditioner service?
Yeah. This weekend I'm going to a like kind of a meetup of friends from college. And it's
nice.
And that was like I graduated 10 years ago. And so it's kind of weird
when
going
you were in college.
You knew me in those days. You know me over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
actually,
that's crazy.
11 summers ago, or like 11 years ago is where we met.
And it was right around this time of year.
Yeah, it was May. Yeah, so that's true. Dude, I remember the first time, the first day I was in Boise, I met you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got picked
Interesting.
up
We're
from the
not even going to go
airport.
into it, but very interesting meetup.
It was
Yeah.
very non-traditional. Yeah,
Non-traditional.
you got picked up from the airport, and then
I pretty much
drove
went
straight to
straight.
where we met to
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
So that was
remember.
cool. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's kind of weird going back to like friends that you barely talked to over the last 10 years, but you were really close with 10 years ago. I look back at college and I think there were a lot of cringy things that I did. And
I remember you were into the Harlem Shake.
oh yeah, well that was even after college technically. But
Okay, you just held on to it for a long time.
dude, I just like I look back and I'm like I made so many stupid things. But like that's all I think about is the cringy things that I did, but also like college was great. And I did a lot of non-cringy things. I just remember the things that I cringe at.
I
Um
pooped my pants for a pizza once.
on purpose?
Yes,
Like
college. You do that sort
solids?
of thing in college. Yeah.
Dude, I tried to jump over a car and busted my knee and like real bad.
And did you
And
poop your pants?
no, luckily. Although
Okay.
I hear something, I did pass out one time in college. But I was talking to someone and he's like, "Did you poop your pants?" And I'm like, "No, do people do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, when people pass out, like you never know what's gonna happen." So yeah. So now you know. Don't pass out if you don't want to poop
I
your
took a
pants.
shower in a rain gutter outside of a car dealership.
Outside of a car dealership. Dude,
Mhm.
we could go back and forth about all the stupid things we did in college. Like
Oh, it was the dumbest.
dude, you should have seen like when I was interested in like when I liked Heather, dude, I said the
Mhm.
stupidest things to her. Like I told her the stupidest things. And just would like because I didn't know what to do and I was so intimidated by her and I was just like, I don't know, like I would just say like what was it? What's an example? Like one time I was at an event and there was like a kind of a dance party kind of thing going down. And as she's leaving, I'm like, you're a really good dancer. Okay, bye. Like literally word
No,
for word.
that is an appropriate thing to say at a dance party
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And then just be like, I don't know what else to say. Bye. Like,
No, I mean, we're getting like I'm at an age now, and I don't know if you're quite there, where I often like I've said to myself many times, what is it? Youth is wasted on the young.
yeah.
Like, and that's where I'm at, where I'm just like, man, like if I could go back knowing what I know now, go back then,
Mm-hmm.
I'd still probably make a butt of myself.
Yeah. There's a
But
really good Smashing Pumpkins song with that line.
yeah,
Um, what is this song? What is it? It's killing me. It'll hit me later. So, uh,
but
yeah. Otherwise, like I just gotta swallow my insecurity and just be like, you know what? College was great. College was the year that
you did college in 1 year?
dude, it was 1 year and it was a
I
quick
took
year.
6.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
And my wife likes to make fun of me, but I'm like, if you're gonna be stuck somewhere for 6 years, like college is probably the
Yeah,
place to
that's
be
a great
stuck.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called doctors. Shut up, Richard. um, so yeah, it was like in college, I dealt with some of the worst depression of my life, but I
That's easy.
also
It
got
happens.
out of depression in college and have
Mhm.
been out of depression for pretty much 10 years now. And so like I think of the good and I think of and I often think of the bad, but I need to think of the good too. Like and even the friendships that I made in college, like some of my best friends are from college and I still keep up with them and so it's going to be good. I'm a little like worried but like nothing bad is going to happen. It's only going to be the good. Like no one's going to be like, remember that time, Cole, that you like thought you were
Said
like
nice dance moves, and we weren't even at a dance party
exactly.
kind of a thing.
All
Yeah.
right, you whippersnappers. No, yeah. So that's what's on my mind right now. This week, Beck has been just smiley. Like she, like
Oh,
we'll wake
those
her up in the morning, and I've said this a million times. She'll wake up smiling, but now she wakes up like we like don't even wake her up. We like open the shades, and she, gets awake, and then she'll sit up and like just sit straight up and be like, "Hi!" And it's amazing. It's just one of the greatest gifts in my whole life is seeing my baby just wake up and just be so happy.
She's got that partial mouth-toothed grin, and it's so cute.
So
little
cute.
teeth here, little teeth there.
Goodness.
Lots of gum here, lots of gum there. She's
Yeah.
she's a cute
It's
pie,
amazing.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, life's good.
Good.
Work's been good. Work's been busier than last week, which I said last week was a little boring. So it's picked up this week, which is great.
Yay.
Just the right amount. Just the right amount. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
You felt that was a very decompressed. Yeah. What are you entry buzzing on?
Four Roses OESF barrel strength. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You?
Well, in early chill filter tradition, I'm fanboying out over Buffalo Trace Standard.
Nice. So I'm gonna do a blind tasting soon. I am not sure if I like Buffalo Trace more than Eagle Rare these days. I need to find out.
Eagle Rare is you would put over Buffalo Trace.
Normally, yes.
Normally, but you're going to do a blind.
I'm going to do a blind and find out which one I actually like more. Okay. So that's that.
There
man.
you go. I can't wait to. I am on the edge of my seat. Yeah. You sold me the whole seat. I only need my edge.
You only need the edge. Yep. The history today is going to be kind of short because there's not much history for a 100-year-old bottle that you can't really find much information on the distillery, even though it's technically, at least I can tell by what it is, it wasn't produced at the distillery that it was called. It was kind of a sourced bottle, which is an interesting history in itself, and we'll get into that a little bit. But anything you want to talk about before we talk about the short history?
No.
What are you entry buzz? Oh no, I literally
you
just
already
asked you
that. Well, no, if there's something I want to talk about, I will interrupt you during your history. So, because that's what I do.
That sounds great to me.
All right.
Yeah, let's get to break. Let's go for a nice spring walk.
Let's take a nice walk.
And we'll be right back, and we'll talk about the history of Monticello 15-year bottled and bond from 1917. So here we go to break. All right, we're back from break, and we had a good old time, but not as good a time as we're having now with you. Like I said, we're drinking Monticello brand Special Reserve 15-year bottled and bond whiskey. Is it a bourbon? No. Is it a rye? No. It's an American whiskey because it just says whiskey. So one of the cool things I liked about this bottle is that it's over 100 years old. And it was, like I said, it was distilled in 1902, bottled in 1917. That was 105 years ago. Crazy. But fun things about the label. That's all I'm going to say. Or that's mostly what I'm going to talk about today is that fun things about the label. It is a pint bottle. And I'm going to give a huge shout out, the biggest shout out to Stephen Wetzel, one of my best friends, who provided the samples we're drinking today. He is the guy that I've been talking about for many, many episodes of that one day. Hopefully he gets married to this one girl, Liza, which he did. And that at the wedding, they normally pull out a really old bottle. Sometimes it was her family would bring out Old Overholt, the rye from pre-Prohibition. But in this case, they brought out Monticello for their, so they didn't bring whiskey to their wedding. I was at their wedding. I was in their wedding. They didn't bring whiskey to the wedding because of COVID, but they sent them a bottle after COVID. And so Stephen was nice enough to say, I'm going to wait until we can drink this together, and we're going to drink this together. So anyway, it's a pint bottle, so pretty small, but it says Monticello brand Special Reserve, and it says it's all whiskey, which I actually think is valuable to say because the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897 represented that this wasn't fake. We didn't fake this. This was a government regulated thing in which we basically made it.
The government will never lie to you.
The government will never lie to you. And that's exactly what it meant. It says of the highest quality and character, fully aged in charred oak barrels and matured at distillery in U.S. government bonded warehouses. So it's bottled in bond. Like I said, of course, it's 100 proof for that reason. It says Monticello Distillery Company, Baltimore, Maryland. But here's the interesting thing: is that on the back of the bottle, it says a few things, and it says Spiritus Frumenti, which is Latin for spirit
Summon
of the grain.
demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been doing the wrong seances.
Haven't you seen Boondock Saints?
I've seen Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
Finley, get away from the door. This is the episode
Finley.
200.
So anyway, let me know if you need to break off. So, that's how you know.
She caught on to that.
It says Spiritus Frumenti, which means spirit of the grain. But here's the cool thing: is that spirit doesn't necessarily mean alcohol spirit. It actually represents like spirit or like almost like life or being, like we'd expect, like the spirit of yourself or something like that. Or like Spiritu Sancti, like we hear the Holy Spirit,
the place where you find yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it says bottled in bond for Monticello Distillery Company, Baltimore, Maryland. So it doesn't say bottled in bond by. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so on the back it says it's all whiskey. and it says 1 pint, 100 proof, made prior to September 8th, 1917 by Edward H. Brinkman, Distillery Number 2, 1st District of Ohio. And then it says bottled in bond at Distillery Number 113, Frankfort, Kentucky, 7th District, Kentucky. And so here's
shout out to my homies in 113.
113, which is my favorite distillery. It is the Old Fire Copper Distillery. Was when it was distilled. By the time it was bottled, it was at the George T. Stagg Distillery. By 1992, it was the Buffalo Trace Distillery. So that's pretty cool.
So that was a legitimate shout out.
Yeah, Buffalo
113.
113. And
Mr.
so
95, shout out to 113.
And so here's the craziest part is that 1917 was 3 years before Prohibition started. And so one of the interesting things is that a lot of companies were starting to move towards basically making whiskey medicinal only. And so in this case, for at least the Monticello Distillery, like I said, in previous episodes, some states were in Prohibition before 1920. They were like state mandated prohibition.
Is like Footloose.
I need to look into when or if and when Maryland did that. But on the label itself, it says for medicinal purposes only. It says sale or use for other purposes
I can drink this.
Yeah, no, this is exact. Like, so you won't cause heavy penalties to be inflicted by drinking this. So I think that's legit. And it even has the RX like prescription on the top of the bottle, which is super cool. On the bonded label, it says that it was made in 1902 and bottled in 1917, which is super cool. But it actually switches the order. Technically, it says made in 1917, bottled in 1902. So it was an obvious mistake on the label. So I thought that was pretty funny too. That's all I got for the history. Of course, it's bottled in bond. One of the cool things, not cool, it's an interesting thing about this was that the bottle had probably 2 inches missing. Over 100 years, there's still evaporation loss just through the cork. So, and then when we opened it, the cork, of course, the cork disintegrated, and we had to like filter it out. But super cool to see 100-year plus bottle. Let's pour this John and my entry buzz is done. So I'm ready for pouring a 100 plus year
This
old
is
whiskey. This is a
it's
first for you, I assume.
yeah. And I'm gonna do the pour on the bean cam here.
Pour on the
'Cause I feel like
bean cam.
this is legitimately worth it. No, like I was thinking today, like the cool thing about this is I'm about to drink something that my grandfather could have drank when he was born.
Yeah,
Like that's
straight up.
pretty sweet.
Yeah. What was your grandfather born? Mine was born in 1928.
Do I look like I remember dates?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
You should
horrible
ask
with
him.
dates. He's
Grandpa,
dead, Cole.
grandpa.
All my grandpas are dead. Thanks.
Do you know the YouTube channel Julian Smith?
This smells really good first.
It
No, I
does.
don't.
It
It
really does.
smells really good.
So he's the guy. I don't know if you ever heard of it. He did Hot Kool-Aid, and he did what's the other one he's known for? I forget. But he
This
was
smells
definitely known for
really
that.
good.
I know.
This is the best smelling 100-year-old thing I've ever smelled.
This
does not smell like a nursing home.
Shout out to John Hughes of Embellish Pod. He showed me these glasses, the professional from Whiskey Crap.
Whiskey Crap.
Something like Whiskey something. I forget. It's the professional glass from Whiskey Wonders of Whiskey. And I had to get them. But it does a really good job of containing the vapors. And so it's like a very potent nose. I don't know about you.
No, it's got a really good nose. It's really bright. It, gosh, I feel like we've had a lot of lately. We've been into having a lot of whiskey, not into it, but we've had a lot of whiskeys. The black lung,
black
a lot
lung,
of golly, a lot of whiskeys where the nose just is hard to pull a lot out of. But like right now,
still
good.
It's
super sweet. Super nice, pleasant,
caramely.
Yes,
not hard candy. Like definitely more in the caramel end for me. It's good though,
for sure. It's
fruity,
super sweet, fruity.
Yeah, but it's to me, it's like it might be 100 proof. So here's the thing: is it is 100 proof, but like with the evaporation loss through the cork, who knows if more water or more alcohol got out?
I don't know if it tastes good.
Really?
I don't know.
I remember enjoying this when I first drank it.
I enjoy that I'm drinking it, but I don't know if it tastes good. Nose is very pleasant and nice.
You don't like it? I love it.
Well, I'm gonna go in for another one. Let me see.
Okay, going for another one. Really nice notes of toffee, fruitiness, not appley fruity. It's almost like pears, if anything, fruity. But like I mean that in a sweet level rather than a flavor level. You don't like it?
I get a lot of bitterness up front.
Really? You're sick, man.
Yeah.
You're sick. You're sick. What's that from? Oh, Mr. Deeds, I'm thinking of, at least the quote where he like stabs him in the foot with the
Is that Hawaiian
iron?
Punch?
It
is Hawaiian Punch. I get a lot of bitterness up front.
Sucks, man.
But the it's funny because it's like reverse. Like I get bitterness up front, but on the back end, the sweetness comes out.
That's good. At least I'm not getting any bitterness. This is a 100-year-old piece of goodness.
That was my grandma's nickname in the nursing home.
In the nursing home. How old did your grandparents live?
I have one grandmother who's still alive, and I think she's 95.
My grandmother's like 94 or something like that, right? Yeah. And she had polio, and still technically has polio.
Wow. Well, a vampire
shout out to Dolores.
Her name's Dolores?
Yeah.
Seinfeld. Dolores.
She just passed.
Dolores just passed?
Yeah. Both.
I thought you said she was alive.
No. On Seinfeld. Oh no, I see what you're saying. The Dolores rhymes with a female.
Whoa, hey,
Yeah.
hey, don't
Yeah.
earn that E.
Mm-hmm. Didn't earn the E this time, but we'll think about it. So yeah, I forgot about that. Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
Rest. Rest.
All right, that sip was better.
Mo. Mo. Go on.
That sip was better. It's
Yeah.
definitely third sip's the charm, I guess. But it's still a little bit of bitterness on it. I don't know. Like I feel weird kind of giving notes. Like anybody else is like really gonna drink this.
Yeah.
But we are because it's the
200th
episode
episode.
200.
So
So
I just
speaking
dropped some
of
drops. Go
good,
ahead.
oh man, good falsetto songs.
Yeah.
The Guns N' Roses, everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. I'm like Axl, man, he gets
Welcome
it up
to
there.
the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been down there with Mr. Brownstone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Or you could even go like AC/DC is great. What do you call it?
That's gonna have to be like you're gonna see a spike when you edit this thing.
Yeah, you'll hear like a distortion in the audio.
No, sorry.
Dan. What was I listening? Oh no, I've been listening to a little bit of. It's not exactly. I mean, it's in that realm, but it's not the falsetto worthy. I've been listening to a little bit of Rolling Stones lately.
Okay. I've never been a big Rolling Stones fan. I do have a pair of sunglasses with the Rolling Stones tongue on it because it was like $10 off a pair of sunglasses. Yeah. You ever wear Gooder sunglasses? See Gooder sunglasses? I like them. It's like $25 a pair. They they're like slip resistant and
I
they're
can get
comfortable.
into that. So so we've talked about before getting what is it like things on Instagram, like Instagram ads and like going for them. So I recently saw an Instagram ad that was like, hey, buy our shirts. They are long and they fit really well. And I was like, oh, that's my biggest struggle is I wear shirts that fit really well, but they're not long. Or the other way around. They're long, but they fit terribly. And so it was called like fresh clean tees or something like that. And
it was like $95 for 5 t-shirts.
Is that the one?
Yeah, I saw that ad too, and I
just bought one for now. I was like, I'm just gonna buy one for $17.
One t-shirt for $17?
Perfectly. But it fit perfectly, Robbie.
Well,
I'll pay $17 any day for a shirt that fits perfectly. Yeah.
But okay. I don't know. If like an undershirt though, like or no, you wear just kind of like plain colored shirts.
Just tees. Yeah, like this one right here.
Yeah, look at you
this
go.
This isn't a fresh clean tee, but this is a Banana Republic. But the problem is it fits well up top, but it doesn't. It like shows midriff.
Well,
almost.
I think my favorite thing about the way you wear t-shirts is I guess a little bit of cool tum tum.
No, that's the best way. So you say tum tum too? I say that with Beck all the time. I'm like, look at that tum tum.
Oh, little kids' tummies hanging
little
out.
Tummies,
the cutest.
Oh, she's the cutest BB in the whole world.
Well, I think maybe she's the 4th cutest, but you think she's the 1st.
So you don't think my baby's cute? No, I'm kidding.
She's the 4th cutest. There's billions of people in this world.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's like 95th plus percentile. So
yeah.
So
all right, nose wise,
yeah,
nose is still fruity.
Yeah, really fruity, but like really, I don't know. Is it like mad pleasant to you, or am I crazy?
The nose is phenomenal.
Yeah,
the nose.
I could smell this all day for the rest of my life.
I would rub this on my body every morning as a cologne if I didn't live in fear of the police pulling me over and being like, "Step out of the car, buddy, and go get into the drunk tank."
Ooh, I like this better than the neat pour. Yeah, if it were socially acceptable, I would drape myself in velvet.
Did you almost came out my nose? You almost got 100-year-old whiskey to come out my nose.
Or the old Seinfeld nose laugh.
Oh man! So on this, now it could be interesting to do this blind because to me it tastes almost like an old suit that's been hung in a closet that it doesn't get worn. Because that's like something you don't always like. I don't know. Like you pull your grandfather or your dad's suit out of the closet.
Yeah.
It has like an old leathery kind of note to it.
Maybe a little bit, but I'm just overwhelmed by how sweet it is.
There's some sweet. I still get bitterness off of it.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, I still get a little bitterness.
Yeah. So yeah, I love it. It's sweeter. It's brighter. It's delicious with a little bit of water. But now I'm gonna drop a cube. Drop a cube, girl.
Now this is pretty impressive. My chill filtered Sebald and Rosted mug has held ice in it for the last hour because that's over an hour almost.
Nice. Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole. All right.
I'm so glad you got some nice Glencairns, or not Glencairns, Waterford glasses.
Waterfords. You know, here's the thing, and that's the thing is like I'm definitely drinking at my corn bleu because the corn bleu is kind of fancy. And the Waterfords, I'm like, you gotta like, you have to drink something. You got like you're drinking 100-year-old whiskey. You gotta drink it out of.
That's what I was thinking.
Now here's the problem. I was thinking about this. I have only taken one of these out of the packaging you sent me.
Oh wow!
One. Yeah, I haven't really.
Were there 6 or 4?
4.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember where I put the other 4.
There's
somewhere in my house.
The chill filtered stemless Glencairn. You just put it somewhere. And
I
then
wonder if it's in there.
It might be.
It's got to be around here somewhere, unless somebody accidentally broke it and decided
hid the evidence.
Not telling Dad.
Yeah. What do you think of the nose?
It kind of what you expect from ice. It's a little more muted.
A little bit. I still think it's very pleasant, fruity, more than caramely. Yeah.
Nose is great. The nose is great. And I'll tell you what, that Monticello looks beautiful in your professional snifter man's glass.
Still great. I don't like it as much as the water pour or the neat pour. You're getting bitter.
So it's on this. It's not necessarily bitter. It definitely it's like an old leather, like suede, maybe kind of a tobacco-y,
in a
oaky.
Good way or a bad way, or like a neutral way.
If this wasn't a special pour, it would be in a bad way.
Okay.
I'm heavily influenced right now by how special this is. If it was,
sorry, man, this is great.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. I'm glad you. I'm. Hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
Like if excuse me, if I was to blind taste this, I'd be like, yeah.
Really?
I mean, but it does. I will say, like, I don't often get like leathery kind of notes or tobacco-y, and so I like that. I like that I'm getting that.
You smell like Grandpa.
You know what? Because it's so. I brought my grandpa's old Stetson in with me to record. Just because I'm like,
that's
Grandpa
a nice
could have
hat.
drank this with me. It is a nice hat, and it's got his old appraiser card inside the brim, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway,
how much is it worth?
The hat, I don't know.
That's a nice looking hat.
It's an old Stetson from.
Stetson's worth a lot. Yeah. And it's got like, what is that? Satin red on the inside.
Yeah, it's silky satiny.
Silky Satan.
Yeah. What?
Speaking of summoning demons.
Oh, Finley's gonna come around to the door again. We're doing our summoning, Dad.
That's so funny.
She was like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "How did you pick up on that?" Like, I don't even know why you would.
That's cute.
Like, that could be somewhat controversial. No,
yeah,
I tell you,
kids. Am I right?
And Juniper is not so much, but Finley and Amara can be drawn to drama. So you say anything dramatic wise, and they're like, "Oh, what?
Yeah. Why would you say that?" It's like what you said last week, where Amara's like, "Did you know that Chelsea had another boyfriend before you, Daddy?" Or not Chelsea. Mommy.
You knew this, and I didn't, Cole. Changes everything. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Not surprised with your wife. You got a good one, man.
She is a
Heartbreaker.
great one. She was a heartbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself a very lucky man.
Me too.
I definitely outkicked my coverage.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
Special
I'm glad
teams are
she's mine.
killing us. Anyway.
All right. What are you getting on ice?
Just a little muted. It's spread out. Like all the notes I
Not
got
my
were
favorite.
spread out.
I am so glad we got to drink this, but this is not my favorite.
I am so blown away because I loved this
Yeah.
throughout. Like no lie. Like no, like just I'm not even influenced by the age. Like I thought this was a great whiskey. Like I would pay $100 just to drink a new bottle that tastes like this.
So I have like the most dregs of dregs left. I'm going to wait, give it a couple weeks.
Yeah, wait until you're less sick.
Wait until I'm not coughing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
My taste buds haven't been off though. Like my Buffalo Trace tasted great.
Delish.
No, that's cool.
So I'm going to give this a rating. I loved it. I'm actually going to give this a 9+, because I thought this was everything I love in a whiskey. Really sweet, fruity, and a nice level of caramel toffee, the mixture of the two. I thought it was fantastic throughout. Water pour might have been best, if not the neat pour. Delicious. I'm going to go with a 9.2. I thought it was that good. Yeah. And what a treat for a 100+ year old whiskey to be that good, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give two different ratings here.
Two different ratings.
Sentimentality. Uniqueness. Hard to get. I'm giving this sucker a 9.5. Like
no.
It is. Yeah, that's what I will give.
Okay, that's your first rating.
This is probably. I mean,
one of the coolest things.
People that are still alive today. How many people alive today have had this drink?
Not many. Only
not
two.
Many at all.
Yeah, or right? At least like potentially
outside of that family. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give it a 10 on that level. Okay, whoa, because it's unique. I honestly, I feel very privileged to get to drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That being said, blind tasting it, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry for you.
That's fine. Hey, you know what? You can have mine, and if you like it 9.2, you can have mine. I'll vomit it up. I'll sift it out. Boil down all my lunch, and I'll give you the remnants of whatever whiskey I can get out of this, because you can have it. Because it's the nose was phenomenal. I was super impressed by the nose, but like it was just bitter up front to me. Just not the best notes on it. Like I'm getting a lot of leather, a lot of oak, a lot of suedey, musty, almost kind of. I don't know. It was different. That being said, I've never had a whiskey like it. So I'm glad I got to have it.
You know, in the somewhat words of Jay-Z, if you're having whiskey problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but the bitter ain't one.
There you go. Well, I don't know. I like that. And I kind of wish. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have been sick. Maybe my tastes are off a little bit.
Yeah,
here,
save that little dregs.
I will save that tiny dreg.
Mm-hmm.
The dreg.
Mm-hmm.
I will beg that one dreg to bump me back up to that 10. It's one of the things. That's the thing. Is like I am so privileged to be on a friggin' podcast where we have some of the best listeners.
Me too.
Who send us stuff. I get to drink stuff I never would have drank it before.
No.
And this is one of them.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So now that we're done, one of our favorite segments of the show, drinking. Why don't we move over to one of our least favorite segment of the show, Whiskey World News.
And we're back. Part of the show where we read an article, we talk about it. We didn't write it. We're just going to read about it, and then we're going to talk about it. Here we go. It's called Whiskey World News. This week's article comes from Westward and written by Kristen Kuchar. Kutcher? Mm-hmm. And it's titled, This Year's Highest Ranking Whiskey in the World is Made in Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah, I had my old coworker, Christy Jardine. Colorado. What do you say? Oregon.
And Nevada.
Attention, Colorado whiskey lovers or whiskey lovers in general.
Mm-hmm.
We have the highest ranking whiskey in the world right here in our backyard. Spirit Hound Distillers recently won the prestigious honor of Whiskey of the Year at the International London Spirits Competition for its straight malt whiskey. The Lions-based distillery took home the only U.S. gold medal, receiving the highest quality rating of any U.S.-based spirit in that competition. The competition. When Spirit Hound founder and head distiller Craig Inglehorn received the email from London regarding the victory, he thought, "This is, oh man, my nose is getting blood. The little blood came out there. Sorry, Ben. This is spam. After maybe I've got powers.
Whoa,
like Stranger Things,
like Powers
7.
whiskey.
Maybe I got whiskey powers." After a quick search to confirm the news, he was blown away. When entering the contest like this, there's always a little bit of excitement going in with the thought of how amazing it would be to actually win, he notes. But in reality, it's a hard thing to do. The award-winning whiskey Spirit Hound uses the word whiskey without the E spelling, is made with all Colorado ingredients and distilled on equipment that Inglehorn built himself by hand. We've been proud of this whiskey for years, he added. I think it shows our excruciating attention to detail. Spirit received an astounding 96 points out of 100 possible. It was 3 accolades in 1, which doesn't happen very much. Inglehorn says, speaking of Spirit Hound's product being named Best of Show in the U.S. high-rated spirit out of the U.S. and, of course, Whiskey of the Year. The 2022 competition saw 160 entries from the United States, 447 entries from the United Kingdom, and 323 from Australia, mate. Cole, any thoughts on that? Mate.
So it's funny. I sent you this article, and part of me was like, "This is silly," but now that you read it, I'm like, "Oh, this is legit." So the London Spirits Competition. It's not like the what do you call it? The San Francisco World Spirits Competition.
Okay.
They do rank and they do give scores, and the score that Spirit Hound's malt whiskey, what was it called again? I have it right here. Spirit Hound's straight malt, whiskey. I thought that it said it won the best single malt American whiskey, but I read that wrong. So like, part of me was ready to make fun of them.
Full of inaccuracies.
No, and I'll take that one this time. Part of me was like ready to be like, come on, like you're basically saying this is the best whiskey, but it actually won the best whiskey. I thought it won like the best American single malt, and I was like, okay, that's a small category compared to American whiskey or especially world whiskey. But I do want to give praise to Spirit Hound out of Colorado because I realized that actually they did win the Whiskey of the Year by the London Spirits Competition for 2022. Cheerio. So I want to try it. Let's reach out to Spirits Hound this week and let's get some.
Well, speaking of our 200th episode.
200th episode.
And our history.
Yeah.
Our good friend Adam Rosted is now currently residing in Colorado. Mm-hmm. So
maybe what city did it say Spirit Hounds was?
Spirit Hounds? I don't
Aspen? Or am I crazy?
Where the salmon, they flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I don't. Let me see.
I'll find out.
Lions?
Yep, Lions is a city.
Okay, there you go. So Lions is also the city in the United Kingdom, so I didn't know.
And in France, Lyon is a city, even though it's not Lyons with an S.
And one of Amara's teachers this year was named Mrs. Lyons, and she's out on maternity leave. So,
that's cool.
Baby's doing well. I don't know. That's as far as I can go. Well, we'll have to see if we can get a bottle. We'll have to reach out and figure that out. We'll reach out and touch me.
That's funny. So, any thoughts yourself besides what you just said?
No.
Okay, that's cool. Let's
I
move
got
it
no
on
thoughts.
to our other favorite, our
And
top
actually
favorite.
fun. I would
Yeah.
say other than drinking, this is
Yeah,
my
I like
favorite
whiskey,
segment.
or what whiskey would you
I
choose?
do, because
So
this is where
let's
we get
go
to hear
over
from folks.
last week's results. The
Absolutely.
rock
Here.
show, the punk rock show.
Yes. Oh man, what's going on my phone? So last week we talked about what whiskey are you bringing to the punk rock show. Cole went with Wilderness Trail bourbon, wheated, because it was nothing like punk rock. If you listen to the description from
Yeah.
last week, I went with After Dark, throwing back the Maker's Mark, scrounging up money in our best
We were
friend's car.
close on
It
this
was close.
vote. Yeah, and
I,
at
I
first it
edged it out.
wasn't. You were winning
It
by
was
a
not.
lot at the beginning.
Yeah, I think the people that voted for mine probably listened to the episode first.
Yeah.
Then voted because they realized your explanation was weak.
Well, it was for the girl at the punk rock show or the girl at the rock show.
Okay.
My wife.
Yeah. So I won 55-45 with Maker's Mark. A couple great write-ins. Embellish
Yeah.
Pod, John Hughes, friggin' John Hughes. Went
Friggin'
with
John
Guar
Hughes.
collab with
Catoctin Creek.
Catoctin
So they're
Creek,
both
Ragnarok
Virginia creators. There's Catoctin Creek out of Loudoun County, Virginia, which they do a lot of ryes. And then Guar is from Richmond, Virginia, where I live.
Oh, do they live there currently in the middle of between tours?
Yes, they do. But some of them live throughout Central Virginia. But they're a ever-changing band. Like they're one of those bands that like always changes their members. But yeah,
Well,
they're based out of Richmond, Virginia.
gotcha.
And they're not exactly a punk rock band, but they're
They have
metal,
the
probably, if
ethos.
anything. Yeah, they do.
The
Yeah.
DIY
DIY.
kind of ethos for sure. When I was in college, speaking of college friends, I lived in a house, and my good friend Nick Bergman put up a sign that said "No War" because it was during in early 2000s.
Nice.
And I changed it to, because
Go
I didn't want to be
Guar.
political, I said "Go Guar." I put letters on it that said
not
"Go
into
Guar."
metal bands like Guar.
Yeah, and I was like, man, like I don't know, let's just not put political signs up. But I don't want to get, and I feel like I just got political there. Anyway, our good friend Dramhound, not Spirit Hound, Dramhound, Wild Turkey 101, tastes good, decent proof, and cheap enough not to be upset if it's confiscated. And that's a good point. You're probably going to get stuff taken away. Our good friend Miles Ferguson, Kilted 518. If not Ard Rock, then Lefroy Quarter Cask.
Nice.
It's got to be loud.
Yeah.
Marker 5151.
Shout out to Marker 5151.
Do you know who that is?
No.
I don't either.
I think he's
but
a
I'm
good
glad
marker.
they joined the convo.
Yeah.
Old Forester 100.
Good
Our
choice.
good friend Ben Klepsig, Madtown Marketer, Jack Daniels Select Barrel Proof.
Nice.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And finally, Joel M09 got to be 250 milliliter bottle of Jim Beam taped to the inside of my leg to sneak it in.
Nice.
I think all the best whiskeys should be taped to the inside of your leg.
Story of my life.
I agree.
That's the song of my people.
That's a song from that is a punkish song from
One Direction.
No, oh gosh, what's his name? Mike Ness. Story of my life. Oh my gosh.
Sum 41? No.
No. This is like a 95. Oh my gosh. Mike Ness is the lead singer. I'll find it here in a second.
While you find it,
Cole. All right, Cole. What are we drinking? What whiskey would you choose this week?
What whiskey would you choose this week is, we all know that Kentucky.
Social Distortion.
Okay,
I didn't even look it up. I just finally got it. Social Distortion. Nice. Story of my life.
Story of my life by One Direction. So we all know that Kentucky whiskey, especially Kentucky bourbon, is something to be coveted. And we all have our favorite Kentucky bourbons. But we're not asking that question today. We're asking, what's your favorite non-Kentucky bourbon? And I got to think of this one myself.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll go first here because I've got...
Okay. I know the answer, actually. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Let's hear your answer then.
So I don't know if it counts because it was technically distilled in Kentucky, but it was triple distilled in Virginia. So I'm gonna pretend that's not the option, so I'll keep thinking. Do you have something in mind?
Well, now that you say that, now I'm thinking. So A. Smith Bowman
Mm-hmm.
is in
Yeah.
Virginia,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and they have a small batch bourbon,
Yep.
which I think is just like, what is it called? Bowman. It's
John or Bowman Brothers is their small
Bowman
batch.
Brothers
Yeah.
small batch.
Mhm.
So we've
Good
just
stuff.
recently started getting that in Idaho,
Nice.
and it's like $25, $24,
Yeah. It's
but
like
it is,
30 or something. Yeah. It's like
and like
cheap.
it's cheaper than 30
Oh,
for
really?
here for
That's
sure.
great.
Yeah. And it is really friggin' good. Like I really
So
enjoy it.
one of our future drink-alongs is going to be the single barrel John J. Bowman that's coming up. So yeah,
Yeah.
keep that in
So
mind.
I'm going with
Patreon.
their small batch one.
Okay, fine. Then if we're allowing John or the Bowman brothers or
Is that
A.
what you
Smith
were
Bowman,
thinking?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the A. Smith Bowman
Okay.
cast strength.
Are they?
So
So is it distilled in Kentucky then?
it's first and second distillation in Kentucky, and then third distillation in
If I'm going
Virginia.
complete, well, I don't even know the history of this place, but if I'm going to go outside, I would have gone 2 bar, but we did 2 bar, and I thought 2 bar bourbon was great, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
But Landmark whiskey out of I want to say Scottsbluff, Nebraska. I like that
Nice.
one a lot too. But
I
I'm going to
can't.
go with my Bowman Brothers small batch.
I'm gonna skip Bowman Brothers for the sake of not matching yours. I'm gonna go with I gotta think about this actually. I might change my mind later, but for now I'm gonna say Breckenridge, Colorado bourbon. Out of
Colorado.
Breckenridge, Colorado.
Oh,
And yeah, fancy that. And so yeah, that's what I'm gonna say
Poopy
is
Beetles. Are they any good?
Breckenridge. What's
No,
that?
nothing. The Wayne's
Oh,
World quote.
Wayne's World. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say is Breckenridge is one of my favorite bourbons outside of Kentucky. I'll
Bourbon.
probably outthink it later.
That's the thing is,
Yeah.
you don't get a lot of time to think on these.
Yeah. So but hit
And
us up this week on Instagram. What is your favorite non-Kentucky bourbon?
and the thing is, you'll like probably have come up with something better than us because we're
Yeah.
thinking on the fly.
We're
You've
thinking
got
on the
time to
fly.
think, time to type, time to
Yeah.
post it.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna win. You will
Yeah.
beat us. I guarantee you. We're gonna get it right in this week, and we're gonna be like, "Yep, that one wins. We were wrong."
Mm-hmm.
So
For
how it
next
goes.
week, our 201st episode, let's
Oh
talk
my
about
gosh,
what
201st.
yes. We are going to drink from one of two options. We're going to drink Four Roses 40th anniversary limited edition from 2014, or we're going to drink Barrel Spirits Seagrass Barrel Strength. What's the proof on that one? It's a 16-year, 130 point something proof.
82.
Yeah, 130.82 proof. Both amazing, both special, both rare. So keep an eye out for Two Pick Tuesday. What are we going to drink next week? And we'll look forward to hearing from you. So, yeah, Robbie, any thoughts to finish off this 200th episode?
Cole, I it wasn't what I thought it would be, but I'm okay with that because you know what? We're out to prove that there's no what?
Ordinary whiskey,
There's no
even though that's
ordinary
not
whiskey.
like what we ever talk about.
Yeah. This whiskey was not ordinary. I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly disappointed, but I was pleasantly happy to actually get to drink it. So you know what? I think that's you posted today. Any thoughts before we record our 200th?
Yeah.
And just kind of the thought of I think Ben Kleps has just said, what? Like it's just fun to have friends to drink whiskey with.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're in the room, and I feel like that's one thing we got here. And I'm just happy to drink with my buddy.
Yeah.
And then listen to talk to some friends on Instagram and stuff. So I had a wonderful time. Cole, what about you?
I too had a wonderful time. And
You
here's
did.
to 200 more episodes. I hope we get to 400, at least 400 episodes of this great podcast.
Cole, I hope that we're both still around and you don't replace me.
Nah. What if I came to you and I was like, Robbie, You're not making the cut. I'm gonna replace you.
I would say Cole. Can I at least tag along? I'll just be the bean cam manager. Can I be the bean cam manager per episode?
No, sir.
Well,
You are here for life.
That's interesting. Like when you moved to Virginia, we toyed about like, should we add a third host? Like, how's it going to look and stuff like that. And so if we were ever to do the change thing, I think that's the one nice thing about this is we can change it up.
Yeah.
I may not, guys, okay.
No.
It's my last episode.
Unless you give up.
I won't be back.
No, you will.
Okay, then you talked me into it. I'll be back.
Oh, you'll be back, all right. And
I hope I'm back, Cole.
And I hope that you are back, Robbie. But most of all, listeners, thanks for listening for 200 plus episodes, or at least 200 episodes.
200 is not
yet. Maybe next week. And I hope that our love of spirits and whiskey lifted your spirits. And whiskey. All right, you whippersnappers.